This is the part in the Lifetime movie version where I get up to pee.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores. Make contact.
The Armchair Quarterback's Wake-Up Show, the rock and roll of sports talk radio. So turn that auto-tune and mumble crap off from the other guys.
This time I'm gonna kick that football clear to the moon.
Amazon Prime members now get free grocery delivery with a minimum order. You'll get your groceries with 2-hour delivery. So in that time, you can finally figure out where the biblioteca is, learn how to play the acoustic guitar, and I guess get a puka shell necklace. Do a makeup tutorial, but realize halfway contouring is hard, and you're beautiful just as you are. Whatever it is you're doing with your time, your shopper will be carefully picking out your favorite organic meats, produce, dairy, and snacks while providing contactless delivery to your door. Free 2-hour grocery delivery, now with Prime.
6 rounds. TJ Hoshimazode. Yes. Lock it up.
Who?
What? TJ, how's the vanilla? All right. TJ, who's your mama?
You mean TJ Hushmanzada from the Bengals?
Put him on the board. Hoshimazode. Got it. Championship.
Make sure to join the Armchair Quarterbacks right here. We'll answer all your questions, pickups, trades, you name it. You want to win your league? Then listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. And don't be scared to tap that app. Find the Armchair Quarterbacks app today.
Fantasy football time. It's fantasy football time.
I should have gone to law school or high school.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines 2 of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infidium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
They're bringing me back. Yeah, I'm the whiz again.
I'm the whiz. I'm the whiz.
What about your fact-checking job?
Oh, here's the fact. I'm the whiz.
I'm the whiz and nobody beats me.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
But what the hell, boy?
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, he's an NBA owner, a self-taught guitarist, and has guest starred in both The Office and Game of Thrones.
He's unhappy with his boss and has no options. Who is Aaron Rodgers?
Ding ding, that is correct. Well done.
That's a projection, Sam. I never said I'm unhappy with my boss.
I said it, not you.
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. It's Game 5 of the NHL Finals tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. Tampa Bay leads 3-1. A W brings home back-to-back titles
to Tampa Bay. A win for Montreal extends it to Game 6 back in Canada. Banned sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson was not on the Olympic roster released on Tuesday by USA Track and Field, a decision that means the American's positive test for marijuana will cost her a chance at running on the relay team as well in Tokyo. In addition to her spot in the 100-meter individual race, Richardson's positive test nullified her win at Olympic trials in Eugene, Oregon last month and the spot that went with it in Tokyo in the 100. Her 30-day suspension will end before the start of the relays on August 5th, which left open the possibility she could win a medal as a part of the 4x100 relay team. But her name was not on the roster. The Federation had 2 discretionary picks beyond the top 4 finishers in the 100-meter trial, but chose not to offer a spot to the 21-year-old sprinter, who was expected to challenge for Olympic gold. Utterly ridiculous. Major League Baseball gets it going at 12:10 Eastern today. The Cleveland Indians at the Tampa Bay Rays. It's the first part of a doubleheader that's a makeup game from July 6th. At 12:35, the Atlanta Braves and Drew Smyly finished their 3-game set in their season series against the Pittsburgh Pirates and William Crowe. Estimated 3:10 second game, the Indians and Rays will conclude their doubleheader. 4:07, Red Sox at Angels, Erod versus Heaney. And at 8:05, Phillies and Cubs, Zach Wheeler head-to-head versus Alec Mills. The Cardinals, 9:45 first pitch, they're at the Giants against Alex Wood. And the Yankees and Mariners, Domingo Germán, 4-5 on the year, tries to take down 6-3 with a 3.18 ERA, Yusel Kikuchi. Other games on the slate, 1:10 Eastern, White Sox at Twins, Lance Lynn is on the bump. At 2:05, the Tigers and Rangers get going. Casey Mize and Kyle Gibson should be a hell of a pitching matchup. At 2:10 Eastern, Reds and Royals, Sonny Gray versus the University of Florida's own Brady Singer. Dodgers and Marlins on ESPN, Julio Urias is on the hill. 7:05, Blue Jays Orioles, Ryu versus Harvey. And the Brewers and Mets conclude their series. Corbin Burns is expected for Milwaukee. A's and Stros, Manaea and Luis Garcia. Rockies and D-backs, Senzatella heads to the mound. And the Nats and Padres, Corbin versus Paddock. Looking around to the MLS, 7 o'clock Eastern, most of these games are on the plus. New England Revolution and Toronto Football Club. At 7:30, it's Montreal versus New York City FC. Chicago Fire FC and Orlando City go head-to-head at 8 o'clock Eastern. Austin and LA, 9 Eastern on the plus. Colorado Rapids and the Minnesota United, they're 9 Eastern, ESPN plus. Seattle Rounders, Houston Dynamo finish up the 9 o'clock kickoffs. At 10 o'clock, it's Vancouver at Real Salt Lake. And at 10:30, the LA Galaxy at FC Dallas. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Payoff pitch, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, here on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel. We go live talking fantasy baseball, DFS, all through the world of analytics. With Sean O'Toole and Stephen Troche. It's the Payoff Pitch every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, talking fantasy baseball.
If you can make a hit in a ball game, you can make
Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern Sports Talk. Good morning, Mr. Sean O'Toole.
Good morning, Mr. Mac McGee. I don't know much, but I know one thing. If you had the Detroit Tigers with the 5th best record in baseball since May the 6th, and the Braves looking to sell parts after losing 2 straight to the Pirates on your 21 bingo card, you're a smarter person than me, because that's where we are in Major League Baseball here on July the 7th. It is topsy-turvy.
We will send you Drew Smiley for Casey Mize later on this afternoon.
That works in MLB The Show. It ain't working here, buddy.
Hi, I'm Mac McGee. I don't know much about knowing one thing. First of all, I don't know what the hell happened to the video during there's a whole block there. There's no video. I don't know what the hell happened. I swear it was there last night when I was loading it up. And that storm's coming through Florida. I think we're going to miss most of it here in Jacksonville. Hopefully all the ball games go off in the city of Tampa. Yet 3 of them scheduled for today. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
What's the matter with you? Nothing? No. Don't give me that. I know you. Something's wrong. What is it? What happened?
I did something stupid.
What'd you do?
Well, I was shaving.
Yeah.
And I noticed an asymmetry in my chest hair. And I was trying to even it out. And the next thing I knew, gone.
Don't you know you're not supposed to poke around down there?
Well, women do it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll pick you up a sundress and a parasol, and you can just sashay your pretty little self around the town square.
Well, what am I going to tell Alex?
Listen to me. You don't tell anybody about this. No one. You hear me? Mm-hmm. Hey, Jerry shaved his chest. Hey!
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man. With a cool in his head.
Hey, howdy, hi. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee and Sean O'Toole. Sean, how the hell are you this morning, sir?
I'm laughing now because that's one of my favorite episodes of Seinfeld. Look at it, Jerry. Look.
Women do it.
It's best hair episodes, an all-timer. That's one of the better late season ones. Yeah, I'm good, man. It was it's been weird lately, man. The Braves have been hard to watch, and the Tigers have been fun to watch. And NBA Finals last night was actually a really good game. It was a competitive game. My brother was there live and in person, and Phoenix kept FaceTiming me from his seats. I was like, knock it off, man. Watch the game.
Well, I'm going to make a promise to everyone. Until the Braves are worth talking about, I'm done talking about them on this show. I mean, they're pathetic.
Feels like a lost season. Just really does.
They're outmanaged every step of the way. It happened again last night in the 9th inning where they had an overshift for no damn reason. That led to a bleeder. They listened to too much of their analytics department, which obviously does a terrible job, because if their analytics department were doing well, the ball would be hit into the teeth of the defense every time, and it's not. So they're being outmanaged across the board, and the offense is being outsmarted by the pitching, because I guarantee you they're going into every single series. When you go up against the Braves, say, look, man, these dumbasses are going to get themselves out. Don't give them any haters over the plate. The Ozzie Albies, even the Freddie Freemans, they're going to swing at everything off the plate because they can't wait to get on base and do this number or do this stupid number here. They don't give a damn about actually winning a ball game. They just want the limelight on them. So don't give them anything. And the bottom of that lineup is trash. So there's nothing you have to worry about down there. So, it is what it is. It's a season that, unless they make some kind of big move during the All-Star break to bring in a bat or two, the season is going to be what it is. It's going to be, oh man, if things would have broke our way, we would have won the division, but instead the Mets won it by 9 games. It's going to be that. Let's move on from that dumbassery. Speaking of dumbasses.
Oh, here we go.
ESPN. The hell's going on around here, pimp?
Hey.
So Rachel Nichols, who has been the queen of jumping on board and canceling other folks, I find this deliciously funny. Absolutely hilarious. It couldn't happen to a better person. For people that missed this, Rachel Nichols was caught on tape trashing the idea of Maria Taylor trying to elbow her way into her job. Rachel Nichols has been doing ESPN, for years.
Right.
She's been doing basketball for years, and she still has found a way to find herself a victim in all this, by the way, which doesn't shock me at all, because that's who Nichols is. But she shot her mouth off and said, basically trashing ESPN executives, saying that, it's fine if you want to give her airtime, blah, 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 but don't try to take it from me is basically what she tried to say. And this is last year's NBA Finals. Well, guess who isn't working this year's NBA Finals? Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. And so it's taking this long for this tape to come out. This thing was let me turn that down. Was July of 2020 is when she was supposedly caught on camera. On audio.
Right.
That tells me that someone had an axe to grind on her recently and waited for this to drop. In other words, they got a hold of it and they said, you know what? I'm going to put her ass in her place. And ESPN pulled her from the NBA Finals coverage. And
they did.
Look, I don't know if she's a good person or not. I've heard some things that make me think probably not. But I don't know if she's a good person or not. But when you constantly pour dirt on your fellow colleagues and are quick to jump on them, and she's the queen of woke. She's the queen of, let's really dive into this. Well, she's starting to see what other people have been saying for a long time, and that is careful what you're pushing for, because you
might find yourself canceled.
Right, exactly, and that's exactly what's happened. She won't be back for the finals. I'll be surprised if she's back, period, because they're going to try to find a way to show cause and get her out of her contract. Now, they may not be able to, and it'll be interesting to see if they continue to put her on the jump, and if she's willing to go on the jump, because going to the NBA Finals, that's a part of her contract.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, Sean, do you think that she might just dig her heels in? Because here's the thing, I don't think she's going to be welcome on a lot of outlets because a lot of people don't like her because of her wokeism. So she's not going to have, in other words, I don't expect Outkick the coverage to back up the truck and say, hey, come with us, because their entire fan base hates her, right?
Right, yeah. She's not going to Barstool. That's not where she'll find herself, or Outkick for that matter.
And I don't even know if she could go to like FS1. I mean, I guess she probably could if she lets it die down for about a year and then comes back. Right. I'm sure she can. But remember the girl that canceled herself because she was shooting her mouth off at the garage attendant, and she was
Brett McHenry.
Yeah.
One of my least favorite of all time.
I don't think she's ever came back, has she?
No, I think she tried to do something for FS1 and get herself into the, Tommy Lauren, Fox News part on the news side, and they wanted nothing to do with her because she quite frankly sucks, which was the problem with that whole thing in the first place. Couple of, you said a lot, and I don't have a whole lot to add to it. Just a couple of things to note. The axe to grind against Nichols is not just from people who are, who hate her wokeness. It's also just because a lot of people feel like she's never really earned her spot. I mean, her father-in-law is Mike Nichols, big-time Hollywood producer. Her mother-in-law is Diane Sawyer. It's long been rumored that she got all of her original opportunities with Turner, which is how she ended up at ESPN, just based off of, who she was related to. She married into that family, by the way. That's not her. Those aren't her biological, mother and father. And the real ironic part of this is the person she's apparently has a very, very contentious relationship with, Maria Taylor, I think is actually pretty good. And allegedly her contract's up in 3 weeks. Now, if that's whether or not you believe Deadspin's reporting,
Maria
Taylor. They're usually well plugged into ESPN contracts.
No. What? Whose contract is up in 3 weeks?
Maria Taylor, who's hosting the NBA Finals right now.
She just signed one last year that got her.
And again, there's some conjecture on that, but Deadspin had reported that her contract is up in a handful of weeks, and this might put her in a position to ask for more money. So I don't know what they're going to do. It's all bad. I mean, the video producer that leaked the tape apparently gave it to ESPN executives and gave it to Taylor personally last year and was suspended for 2 weeks for doing so. So I think that's how this ended up out on the street, because that person, I'm sure, is not happy that she ate a suspension, for feeding information to ESPN executives that their golden girl might not be, the homecoming queen she presents herself to be. It's all bad. I'll be interested to see if they do anything to Nichols, to be perfectly honest, because she's under contract. And they do put a lot of advertising into the jump. So, unless they just jettison her off the network altogether, I don't know how that works out.
I'm finding an article here on Sports Illustrated, and it says, according to the New York Post, this is interesting. So maybe this is what I'm misremembering. According to the New York Post, ESPN offered Taylor nearly $5 million per year, up from her $1 million per year salary during negotiations last year. And Taylor turned the offer down because she wanted to get into a Stephen A. Smith salary territory, which is $8 million a year. Now, as many people,
that's just insane.
Now, as many people who hate Stephen A. Smith,
generates a lot of money.
Dude, Maria Taylor could get fired tomorrow. By next Wednesday, you'd kind of forget about her.
Yep.
Stephen A. Smith has built himself a brand over years. For her to think that she's worth it, and look, they may pay it because ESPN's stupid, but I
actually don't think they will, because I
don't think she's worth $5 million, because
no, really not.
So interchangeable. Look, I've always liked her content. This is nothing against Maria Taylor personally, but you could blend her in with a number of sideline reporters that, she doesn't have any personality that goes, wow, man, I really look forward to seeing him or her. That's not Maria Taylor.
We've seen this.
With that being said, Rachel Nichols is the same situation. Rachel Nichols, to me, has always seemed so damn phony and almost like overly sweet, fake when she's doing her interviews, and very pretentious. I've never really enjoyed her. When she first came on, okay. When you got to know her, I was like, man, there's just something fake as hell about her. But Maria Taylor's not worth $5 million. You could find a number of women to take her place on the college football show, which is essentially what I know her from. And you wouldn't skip a beat.
No.
I mean,
they've got plenty of time. I mean,
$3 million, maybe, when you consider the context of everything, but 5.8? What the hell are we talking? This is the broadcast group that keeps firing and laying people off because they say that they're losing viewership. Why would you overpay to keep someone on when you're losing viewership? Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity, right?
Yeah, I don't get that, because ESPN has held their ground on it, not to make this about race or gender. They did this exact same thing with Carrie Champion, who asked for a big raise, was doing Sports Center, and they were like, yeah, you're really not worth that. We can replace you with 3 other people. And she ran off with Jamel to do, Jamel's startup with.
And now that you mentioned that, I'd totally forgotten about Carrie Champion.
Right. I'm just saying, it's the exact same allegory for that. And yeah, this is the network that paid Ed Werder to stay off television for a year. The most plugged in journalist in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, who, regardless what you think, are still the most popular franchise in football, especially in the South and in Texas, and then brought him back. This is the network that paid Jason Stark for a year and a half, who's in the MLB Journalist Hall of Fame, to not work for them before he went to The Athletic. I just don't, they're not going to pay any of these people. I don't think they're the network that does that anymore. So
I don't know. They need to. She's not bringing.
They don't. Their entire business model is built around live sports, not personalities aside from Steven.
If a woman hits the scene in the world of sports and really has a personality, and one that's engaging, and one that people are going to be drawn to, that's going to be worth its price in gold, or its weight in gold. But just an interchangeable sideline reporter, which is what Maria is, and
or studio host, which is,
I know, but I really think she's a glorified sideline reporter, because when you're a studio host, I expect you to have a little more pizzazz. I expect you to have, or at least a very long career that is well respected, like Ernie Johnson. Ernie Johnson is not the most engaging person in the world, but he stays out of his own way, and he's also been in it for decades. Okay. Yep. So I look at him different than your average studio host. But think of all the studio shows that come out of ESPN, the SEC network, et cetera, et cetera. There's a litany of white dudes that I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't tell one from the other, and I don't know who the hell they are. And if they change them out, I'm like, I don't know, whatever happened to that blonde guy. All right, whatever. Put this other guy in. I don't know. So I mean, you know, you have to have something that pops, that jumps to make you worth that much. And dude, read the room. You're in the middle of a pandemic, coming out of it. The economy's in the crapper. Don't be kicking the tires on 8 million when someone's willing to give you 5. This was last year, dude. Beep, beep, beep. Back that damn truck up and go, you know what? I'll take your 5 million. Hoof, you know, fake it.
Right. Ooh.
But I only want to sign like a 4-year deal because, you know, we could work for, but I'll go ahead and you take your $20 million. And then if this doesn't work out, guess what? As long as I'm not a moron, I'm set for life. All right.
Hey, ESPN, I'll put it out there right now. You can give me $200K a year just to cover the Tigers because nobody else wants to do that job. And I will take it right now. Please.
I would turn that down. I'm not watching
Stop
baseball.
Stop it. Leave me alone.
Hey,
they are. I'm going to get the shirt made eventually. You know what they are. They are frisky cats. I love them.
Hey, respect my authority. Let's go ahead and do our picks against the spread and then dive into some DFS because we're going to run out of time we're going to hit Nebraska and Oregon football. And I can't wait for this on the other side of the break because I told Sean last night, man, I
dove in last night. It got me real excited.
Dude, I started getting like when you start talking about relevant football programs, it really gets you know the juices flowing. You start remembering, oh yeah, this and that and all that, and then it intertwines with all the other teams that they're going to play. Can't wait to get into that. Okay, where are you going today on your pick against the spread?
On my pick against the spread, this is going to be the last week I get to do it, so I'm going back to the National Hockey League. I hit big on Montreal winning Game 6 last week. I think I am going to go with Montreal winning Game 5 tonight, or at least keeping it within the spread. So the best action on the board is the Canadiens money line at plus 190. I'm not that bold, but the Canadiens plus 1.5 goals is minus 145, which is pretty good to stay within Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is plus 120 to win by more than 1.5 goals. I just don't see that. I think Montreal got a shot in their arm from winning that game the other night. So give me the Montreal Canadiens plus 1.5. I think if Tampa Bay does win, it's going to be by 1 goal or less.
We're going to snowman them tonight, man. It's going to be 8-0. Snowman those bastards. It's over. It's a wrap. They've been waiting to get it back down here in Florida so they can. I
will say I went through the Stanley Cup deep dive yesterday, and I couldn't believe it's been since 2015 that a franchise has won it on their home ice, which is a long time in the NHL. It's one of the longer droughts. They've all been won on the road. And obviously, we're not even counting last year, which was in a bubble, but 19, 18, 17, 16, all on the road. So I love it when it's won in front of the home fans. The home fans should get to celebrate that.
I think of all the sports, home ice is the least important of all the major forces.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with that too.
I could see that. You would shock. Well, obviously, you would shock the hell out of me if you told me the NFL, because there's only one team's ever won it on their home ice, and that's the Buccaneers last year. But
right, exactly.
But as far as the other sports are concerned, you would shock me more if you told me that statistic in basketball, because baseball comes down to who was on the mound that day, right? And if you hit the bad luck of the stud, the DeGrom of your team was on the mound the night you could clinch, then it is what it is. But basketball would be the one that would shock me more, because I just feel like there's a comfort when you're at home, right? Okay, so let me go to Major League Baseball. I've told you, I'm done with the Braves. I can't do it anymore. It's making my head hurt. The Boston Red Sox minus 127 on the road. Erod on the mound, and Heaney and the Angels. They lost last night to the Angels. Give me Erod and the Red Sox. So that's where we'll go with that. DFS real quick. Where are you going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for value pitchers. one that really jumps out to me just because the team he is playing is so bad. He's not overpriced by any means on DraftKings. He's at 6,600. Anthony or Antonio, I think it is, Senzatella against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And folks, let me tell you, I had to crunch the numbers to make sure I was reading it correctly. The Arizona Diamondbacks currently have 21 wins. They had 14 at the end of April, which means they have gone like 7-44 in their last 51 games, which is a consistent level of losing that even me, someone who watched a lot of the 2003 Tigers, thinks is very, very brutal to watch. The Arizona Diamondbacks got nothing going on right now. And Senzatella, if you've never seen him, he's not going to overpower you, but he's actually a pretty solid pitcher. And he's a lot better. His advanced numbers are a lot better away from Colorado. So give me Anthony Senzatella, 6,600 at Arizona, who cannot hit a lick.
You know, it's interesting how they have these set up, because you've got early, you've got afternoon, and then you've got the regular slate. So if you go the afternoon slate, you're talking about very few games that you can get picked up on. So I'm just going to go with all right, just to make this easy, I think I'm going to go with the early slate and just go from there. The pitcher that I would seriously think about starting is Freddie Freeman's back was messed up last night. I almost wonder if they might give him the day off. Will Crow, 6,500. The Braves aren't hitting a lick. And it's an early game. What the hell? I would throw that up against the wall and then pair it with Kyle Gibson up against the Tigers.
Good one.
That's where I would go. The game of the day, by the way, 2:00 Eastern, doubleheader now because of the rain out last night, and it's got bumped up and moved around the starting pitching. It's going to be Corbin Burns versus Jacob deGrom today at 2:00.
Lock up the kids.
Yeah. If Elsa's going to knock out the power, please do it after that game.
It's a shame that's going to be 7 innings, but they might both go 7.
Exactly. So, two complete games, because it was supposed to be Anderson, and Anderson been moved.
Yeah, they moved him to the second half. Yep.
Right. The Brewers moved to the night game, and the Mets haven't decided. The other thing that comes into play, if you're a team that doesn't suck like the Braves and you're trying to chase down the Mets, this means DeGrom only goes once this week. He will not go twice before the All-Star break. Boom! Look out. Here come the Nats. Natitude.
Natitude.
Let's go ahead and take that break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into college football. Cannot wait. Huskers, Ducks, quack, quack. It's on the way. We'll be on the other side of the Armchair Quarterbacks.
I'll be honest, fellas, it was sounding great, but I could have used a little more cowbell.
It's time to jump into DraftKings. Go to DraftKings today at DraftKings.com. Golf, NASCAR, soccer, you name it. And of course, Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. Go to DraftKings.com. Listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks for DFS advice all year round.
Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure that's going to be there it is. Another flag on the play.
Multiple flags on the play. Holding. Offense number 97. That penalty was declined. Touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 22. Penalty will be applied to the kickoff.
This is
that son of a. You playing against Dick this week?
Yeah.
Could be worse, man. When I played against him, he ejected all my players.
What?
Armchair.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down.
I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle trunk pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
Lager brings out the patriot in you.
The Armchair Quarterbacks, ESPN Radio's public enemy number one. Weekdays, your first choice for sports talk here in the Southeast.
What happens when 5 eligible bachelors welcome a little girl into their lives?
Hey, it's my turn in the bathroom.
Non-stop hilarity. My Five Uncles.
Hey, Gina, welcome to your new home. You sleep in there, and we all sleep in here.
The show that shows family values exist even in unconventional families.
Oh, what are you guys doing in there?
Taking hilarious comedy in a whole new funny direction.
I don't get it. Why don't any of you guys have a steady girlfriend? I'm an emotionally abused orphan. Can I get in on any of these group hugs?
My Five Uncles, Thursday nights on LSBC.
I only had a brain.
You're riding Morning Shotgun, your first choice for sports talk here on the First Coast, only on
Armchair.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infinium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
But he played okay, actually. But
He got 20 points. I was shocked that he played. I thought he might be down for the count. And then I was also shocked on about how many minutes they got from him, how well he played. So I think it's man, they're showing the radar floor. The entire thing's just engulfed. I'm like, I can't.
I saw my wife had it up on the iPad last night. I was like, ooh, that doesn't look good.
I can't even see my city, man. It doesn't look like it's going to be that bad, but the eye is finally hitting the coast of the west coast of Florida as we speak. So
this is not helping my sales pitch to my spouse to one day move to the Jacksonville, St. Augustine area, because I don't want to be on the Tampa side where everything usually hits.
Yes,
so
correct. The good thing about Jacksonville, St. Augustine is it's so indented.
Yeah, it rarely hits there. Yeah, it goes up to the Carolinas.
We've only had one direct hit from a hurricane in Jacksonville since I think it's like 1961, something like that.
Right. That's my sales pitch to her is like, hey, they've got minor league baseball, they've got the Jags there. Like, we go to Florida, not Tampa, not Pensacola. No, we ain't doing that.
And I mean, the good thing is all those are very close to drive to if you want a vacation there or whatever, right? But what I like,
no, absolutely.
What I do like about Jayville over St. Augustine is the property's a little cheaper, and B, things are more accessible. And then the problem about St. Augustine, if you do go to St. Augustine, check where you're living, because they have a lot of flood zones because St. Augustine sits inside the I'm having a blank right now, but the intercoastal. So it sits inside the intercoastal, and I live in a neighborhood. I did not do that research, and man, every time it drizzled, we were my truck was like half the wheel was underwater as I'd be driving home. But Jacksonville, we don't have that big of problems, to be honest with you. It's not knock on wood, but that would be my pitch to her, is like one direct hit by a hurricane since 1961. So, and it's not like when you live other places where hurricanes are something new and tragic, and everyone flips out. In Florida, man, you're just like, oh, sweet, I get to drink today because they're going to shut everything down. The bridges are shut down, and they are really good. I will have to JEA, the power company here, I will have to give them their props. I know a lot of people like to pile on power companies. They are very quick about restoring power when it does go out. So I was very surprised by that when I first moved back here.
If they're smart about it, they knock it out before the storm can do it, so they can turn it back on. That's the smart part.
But I mean, a couple of those storms that have hit here, I was like, oh Christ, we're going to be down for like 3 weeks, and it comes right back on. Like they're very organized. It's like a militia, man. They're out there, and you're like, damn. Now I did have a buddy 5 years ago, I think it was, when Matthew came in and knocked out the power of all of Jackson. Was a really bad storm, Most people got their power back within about 24 to 48 hours, so it wasn't that bad. Dude, this guy didn't have power for almost a week, and what was funny is that you could see on the map, he would point to me. I was working with him at the time. He goes, "Look at all the areas that have power," and they were surrounding him. It was like a moat, it was like a moat of electricity, and then he was in the middle. Like, why have they not come to you? I was like, I don't understand. He goes, I don't know. He goes, but they keep saying it's going to be this day and this day and this day. He goes, and every day I see like lights go on across the street. He goes, it's just ridiculous. So he ended up crashing with us for a couple of days. It was I mean, it wasn't funny, but it was funny. I was like, he could not. The day he got the power back and could take a shower in his own shower, dude, it was like Nirvana to him. Don't at me about what do you want me to do on my day off. I'm soaking in the electricity. Okay, let's go straight into the Nebraska Cornhuskers, baby, because this team, I don't know if do or die is the right term per se.
I know what you're thinking, though. It's in range.
It is in range. He has been there.
This is his fourth year.
And things aren't looking good to me. When I looked at this team last night and I read all what they have coming back, they do have quite a bit of their defense coming back. Now, they're calling them, what was the term? Because I underlined it somewhere. They gave it a name, super seniors. Okay.
Wait.
And like when I heard the term super seniors, you know, the first thing popped in my mind, like that's usually like a term you give some loser that can't graduate high school.
It's usually a term you give to the guy who's won shuffleboard 80 rounds in a row at the nursing home up the street. He's a super senior.
I was thinking of like the kid who's like 7 years into high school. Because he can't.
Right, because he can't pass math.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that.
His name is Choo Choo. Kind of tall, talks like this.
But he can tackle. Let's go.
He can tackle, all right.
You're a super senior. Let's get in there. Super. You're a real super. But that's what they're calling them, super seniors. These are the seniors that because of COVID, they were allowed to play another year because they looked upon his last year as a throwaway. So, and that has some stuff that's going to get into Oregon here in a second. But the defense, because of that, they have 5 super seniors returning just on their starting defense alone. 2 guys on the defensive line and 2 guys in the secondary. Now, a lot of this has to do with the fact that they weren't looked upon as high draft picks. But this black shirt defense, as they used to call it, and they're trying to bring that back. Boy, that ain't gonna get cancel cultured. But this black shirt defense that they're trying to rebuild, they're going to be the cornerstone of this team. That in the fact that Adrian Martinez, who is a 37-year junior at this point, I swear this guy played under Osborne. He's been there forever, dude. Every time I go, Adrian Martinez is back again, and he's not.
He was Scott Frost's backup. How is he still at that school?
Exactly. I think he actually started the year before Scott Frost came on board as a freshman for what was it, 97, 96-ish when Scott.
There will be a lot of that this year because of people that took the extra year of eligibility for last year not counting. We'll all be like, he's been there since 2009. How is that possible?
Well, especially with Martinez because he's still listed as a junior, and I was like, I could see him coming back because he's still a senior, but he's a junior. Now, I'm sure he plays redshirted, but I'm like, this dude is like a 9-year junior. There's no way in hell. So, but almost their entire receiving core has left. They've hit the transfer portal. They basically said, this isn't what I signed up for. We were wanting to be a part of a high octane offense, and it really isn't because basically you got Adrian Martinez playing quarterback, who's an option quarterback.
Right.
I don't know if they might make. Do you think they're going to stick with Martinez?
It's going to be tough to do so, especially if the offense sputters out of the gate. So, in Frost's first year, their offense kind of overperformed a little because Martinez, had a much higher completion percentage, and I think he hadn't gotten hit in the mouth enough. I'm not even sure who they put in after him. Did they still have the McCaffrey kid that transferred out of Michigan? Is he still behind?
No, he is McCaffrey's gone. The guy that they have listed is Logan Smothers, who is a freshman, and he's a highly touted freshman. But there's also they've had some transfers in, but none of them have been quarterbacks. They've all been receivers and running. In fact, they had a big recruit that came from Southern Cal, Marquis Step, but he got injured in the spring, and I haven't found it. I looked all over last night. I could not find a recent update on whether or not A, he's going to play, and B, when he's going to play. But they're going to
and I mean, just watching signing day, their biggest signee of note was a tight end out of Iowa named Thomas Fedone. I don't know how that helps them, unless he's George Kittle. So,
Austin Allen is a guy that I think could be a star on this team. He's their other tight end, and he's a returning junior, so he's a super junior. They've talked about how he gets a lot of work in with the receiving core because that's the way Frost and his staff does that. They put their tight ends through the same drills that most teams put wide receivers through. Okay.
Right.
If that makes sense. So in other words, they are expected to be an integral part of the pass receiving offense. That's not typical in a lot of college football teams. Most college football teams, your tight end is more being locked into blocking, and then of course there's a few routes out there. What they're saying is that Allen is expected to, he may even lead the team in receptions this year, but they run a 2 tight end set, and they've got the kid, I think it's pronounced Samori Torre, who is a senior, super senior, that is transferring from Montana. And you're like, what the hell? Who cares about Montana? But evidently the guy is a huge 50-50 guy. 6'3", can jump out of the stadium, and they're expecting him to be a big part of when they're down in the red zone. But this team is going to go as far as Adrian Martinez can scramble them, assuming that they can lean on this defense. So let's get into this. And this is where it gets nasty, because I looked at the schedule and I was reading all this. I was like, they might have a decent team. Like I thought of you because you're doing the show with me today. I was like, yeah, this might be a frisky team. And then I looked at the schedule. I go, wow.
No. You want to talk about that 4th game on September 18th now, or should we get to that?
So they start off at Illinois. That game was originally supposed to be in Dublin, Ireland. And of course that got extended because of COVID. Right?
Yep.
They didn't want to go through all that. I think they were also afraid that the fans wouldn't be able to attend or something like that. So that was so I get that, but it just sucks because it would have been a cool thing. Nebraska, Illinois, in Dublin, Ireland, everyone over in Ireland going, who the hell are these teams? We
were told there was football today.
We were told we would get to see the great Alabama play today. What the hell is this?
Right.
How far is Illinois from Alabama? Maybe they don't suck that bad. So that's the game that leads off. Then they're home against Buffalo. Usually has a pretty decent program in their own right. Yep. And then 3rd game of the season at Oklahoma.
4th. They got Fordham in there. So you missed Fordham.
Oh, did they add that? Because I don't have it.
Saturday, September 4th, Fordham at home. They added a 12th game. So
okay. So I guess this publication, I've got the digital in front of me now, and it's you're right. Okay, so this must have been printed before that. So all right, well, Fordham's a gimme, right?
Fordham's a gimme.
If you don't beat Fordham, you're never gonna make it to the Oklahoma game as the head coach.
Unless you're playing Fordham in the Knowledge Bowl, you should be okay. So
they still got that. So I got to look at this being, they've got a good chance to be 3-0 going into that game. And everyone's going to start pouring that Kool-Aid and going, oh, Nebraska's back, baby. They're back. Remember they did that?
And then they go where? Tell me.
Soonerland. And remember, for kids who might be watching this going, oh, Oklahoma, Nebraska, that's weird.
That was the jam.
Greatest rivalries when we were kids.
The jam before they left the Big 12. Yep.
I mean, what would you say until the mid 90s? This was up there with
This was it.
I mean,
this was it. Texas wasn't also ran. I mean, in the Big 12 for years.
Yeah, it was Oklahoma, Nebraska.
Yep.
Florida State, Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying
to Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Notre Dame, USC, UCLA sometimes. But yeah,
I'm trying to think of ones that used to be big that are no longer.
Florida, Tennessee probably would be the other one.
Yeah.
Throw in.
Florida, Tennessee, and then Michigan, Notre Dame, because
back when we played each other.
Exactly. This reminds me exactly of Michigan, Notre Dame, where it was a huge rivalry, and now they don't play anymore, and it's asinine. But we are going to get that game. I wish it was in Nebraska, so it'd be a little more even stepped. But then they go to Michigan State, Northwestern at home against Michigan, at Minnesota, at home against Purdue, at home against Ohio State, Southeast Louisiana, at Wisconsin, at home against Iowa. Now, the good part is 4 of their last 5 and 6 of their last 8 are at home. The bad part is those games include Ohio State, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. This team, to me, 12-game schedule now, right? I think I've got them at 5 and 7. I don't think they're gonna make a bowl game. What say you?
We are in 100% agreement, sir. I went down the list and I couldn't come up with more than 5 wins. And I think that's unfortunate because I do think they'll probably be 3-0. I would not sleep on that Buffalo team. That Buffalo team is kind of an interesting team. They play.
What's the word?
I'm not gonna do it. I'm saving it. I can't overuse it. But they play in the Mid-American Conference, which is where you have, your Coastal Carolina, your Illinois State, but there's always some teams in that conference that are a lot better than you think they are. And they snap on Power 5 conference teams every year early in the season. So don't sleep on that Buffalo game. I don't see them getting beyond 5. And honestly, you could talk me into 4 a lot easier than you could talk me into 6 wins. And I don't know what they do with Frost at this point. Because again, it's similar to what we've talked about for 2.5, 3 years now with Harbaugh. Who are you going to get, right? You ran off, you went and got the best defensive coordinator you could find at a Power 5 conference in Bo Pelini. He didn't get the job done for you, so you bring in the concrete hero who played for the university. Who are you going to get now?
Because I think there comes a point where there comes a realization, man, maybe we're not the program we think we are.
Yep. We let everything pass us by.
It's kind of like these Braves fans who last night are like, I can't believe we lost to the terrible Pirates, blah, 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 blah again. I was like, I forget who it was. Someone called it that I can't believe this crap we lost to another crap team. And I said something to the effect of, there comes a point when you realize that you're the crap team.
Right.
Right. When you possibly could have lost 4 out of your last 5 to the Pirates and Marlins if it hadn't been for one miracle inning. You're the crap team, not everyone else. So that's kind of where I see Nebraska at. And I'll tell you what, if they don't pull it off, if they don't go out, I think that he at least has to make a bowl game. And when I see Oklahoma on his schedule at Michigan State, which I think is going to be a terribly difficult game to win. When I see Michigan at Minnesota, even Purdue, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Those are
losses.
8 games. Those are 8 games that they could definitely lose. You're going to have to pull at least 2 major upsets to get to 6 and 6. And that's assuming you don't drop the ball on the first weekend of the season and lose to Illinois, because the Fighting Lovey Smiths are always ready. So, I don't know. It's just, let's go ahead and move over to Oregon before we run out of time, because this is a team that's exciting. This is a team that I believe could be arguably making a run for the playoffs this year. Okay. And it's a team that last year they lost a lot. They had a lot of guys opt out, and a lot of guys that opt out even after they started playing, they took off, and somehow this team still won the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a team whose quarterback is Anthony Brown. He's slated as the starter right now, but what is that kid's name that they brought in that was the big coup?
Tyler Slough.
Yes. Okay. I think there's a very good chance that he could start as a freshman. If you're saying the right guy, I got to find his name. You're saying Tyler Slough?
Oh no, I'm sorry, Tyler Shoughh. Sorry, that looked like an L to me.
Shao. Yeah.
Okay.
Tyler Shao had left to go to Texas Tech. I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You're talking about the kid that came in. Gotcha.
Yeah, they've got I can't find his damn name now. I'll find it in a minute. But they've got a kid that's coming in that is supposed to be a 4-star, 5-star freshman quarterback. But Anthony Brown Sr. and Butterfield right now are slated as 1 and 2. But this kid could overtake him because they're putting in that run heavy RPO system, and supposedly he's like Taylor built for this. You've got him. You've got a defense that's returning 7, offense that's returning 7, a bunch of super seniors on there. This is a team, man. I'm telling you, this team could be very, very. Frisky's not even the right word for it, Sean. They could be a legitimate threat for the playoffs and beyond.
Yeah, they're interesting this year for a couple of reasons. The thing that really interests me is that they're also replacing
Ty Thompson. I knew it was a really easy. It was like a really clicky name. Ty Thompson, that's his name. He is a 5-star freshman who enrolled over the winter, and so I'm going off of, I don't know, Athlon or something. One of these books I get every year, but I Googled him and went down one of those rabbit holes. Long story short, there's a lot of Oregon Duck fans who are excited about this Ty Thompson, have seen him play in person, and they say that he could be elite. Just remember the name Ty Thompson, and if that's not an easy thing to remember, now that I've actually said it out loud, Cristobal is building something there in Oregon. And remember, originally when Cristobal took the job in Oregon, he was supposed to come with Willie Taggart to Florida State, and that was a part of the allure of having Taggart. Right. I really don't know why at that time why they didn't just offer the damn job to Cristobal.
Right.
But
hindsight being 2020.
Right. Cristobal said, "No, I'm going to stay in Oregon because they're offering me the job," and away you go. They really should have hired Cristobal, because what Cristobal has always been known for. Now, I don't know if there's McDonald's bags involved in this or not, Sean, but what he's always been known for is being able to recruit.
Yep.
And he's got this kid, Ty Thompson. He's had, it was like, I think it's 3 of the last 4 years, Oregon, under his tutelage, has been in the top 10 in recruiting in the country. That's saying something to the state of Oregon. They kind of sit in the middle of nowhere. No one can play high school football in Oregon. There's like 3 guys that are worth, recruiting every year. They have to go out of state. They have to go into California. Yep. They have to come down to the South. So I'm really excited about what Cristobal could be doing. And I was mad at him. I'm not going to lie. I was mad at him at first when he didn't come to Florida State, but enough time has passed. And I'm like, man, I would like to see him build something, because he showed loyalty to the program.
Yeah, really quick, because I know we got to do walk-offs and turn back time. He's also replacing both of his coordinators. I mean, Andy Avalos was so good at defensive coordinator. He got the head coaching job at Boise State. So he picked up Tim DeRuyter, who was at Cal and really had overhauled their defense the last couple of years. And also his offensive coordinator is Joe Moorhead, who was previously at Fordham and Penn State, and had a couple of guys end up in the NFL by the name of Chase Edmonds and Saquon Barkley. More of a running guy, so we'll see what kind of influence he has there. They've had a hard time keeping the offense up to speed since Herbert graduated. We'll see if they can keep it over the top. But I love their schedule. It lines
at
up well
Ohio
for them.
State, September 11th. How fun is that?
At Ohio State, September 11th. So I've only got them dropping 2 games. You could talk me into 3. I've got them probably having trouble at Ohio State, and we'll get to them in a couple of weeks. They don't play USC this year. I've actually got them dropping the game at Utah as well. We'll get to Utah eventually. I think that's a really, really tough place to play. But I think this is a 10-win team, 9 or 10 wins at least. And you could talk me into 11. It's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to talk me into 11 than to 8 because they do dock USC this year.
If they could get past Ohio State, this team's going to go to the playoffs. If they can't get past Ohio State, they're going to need a lot of help.
Yep.
So I've got them going about 10-2, but if they can, the Ohio State game is the one that concerns me the most. Like you said, they don't play USC now. You don't know who you're going to end up playing in the conference championship game, but at Washington,
don't play Arizona State either. Wild, what a year! They don't play Arizona State either.
Well, yeah, because all of them are in the South, and but UCLA, they're at UCLA and they're at Washington. Those games concern me. At Ohio State, obviously. Other than that, man, this team's going to be freaking ready to roll, and I cannot wait for that September 11th game against Ohio State. That should be a lot of fun. All right, let's go ahead and do some turn back time and get the hell on out of y'all here on what is this, Wednesday already. It looks like the storm's starting to cross over and get past the Gulf, and it's heading up towards West Florida. We'll probably start getting some remnants here in a second. So let's go ahead and start this before the power gets knocked out. How about that? You call this a storm? All right. On this date in 1937, Franklin Delano Roosevelt in attendance at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C. Yankees first baseman Lou Gehrig drives in 4 runs with a home run and a double to lead the American League to an 8-3 victory over the NL in the All-Star game. FDR tossed out the ceremonial first pitch, is the first U.S. president to attend an All-Star game. It's interesting because they've been playing it for a few years by then. Also on this date, 1912, Jim Thorpe wins 4 of 5 events to win the pentathlon gold medal at the Stockholm Olympics. And of course, later on in 1913, the medals would be stripped because the Olympic Committee is a bunch of damn bozos. We didn't even get to the Sha'Carri Richardson thing, but
no, you covered it in the opening though. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So asinine. I mean, bleh. Birthdays. I think it's your birthday. There we go. Today. All right. Let's go ahead and grab a dead guy first. He would be 100 and he'd be 115 years old today. American Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher, 5-time Negro League, 2-time MLB All-Star from Mobile, Alabama. We lost him in 1982. I did not realize that he'd been gone that long. Satchel Paige. Happy belated birthday to him. And we'll grab one since it's hockey. And we got the Stanley Cup going to come to an end tonight, hopefully. Joe Sakic is 52 years young today. Canadian Hall of Fame and Colorado Avalanche. One of my favorite players back in the day, back when you and I were roommates. Just because I had to pull for the Avalanche because you were a Red Wings fan. I had to pull for the Avs. I mean,
one of the few Avalanche players from that period I did not hate. Always professional, conducted himself well, and has been a really outstanding front office general manager since he's been in Colorado. Has done it. I know they fell short this year, and there's a lot of questions about how they'll handle their offseason, but he's done it very shrewdly. For an ownership group that doesn't really like to spend top dollar for the most part.
And shout out to this website that I'm on every day, trying to trick me. I saw Muhammad and I was thinking Ali. I was like, man, was it his birthday today? And then I looked down and it's Muhammad Ashraful, who's a cricketer. They put more. This thing must come from England because I run into more cricketers than any other thing. I'm like, hell, man, scrolling in the morning, getting ready to show. Like, the hell am I looking at here? They're all a Greek hurdler. I mean, what the hell's going on? What's your walk-off for the day, sir?
My walk-off for today, you kind of alluded to this earlier, man. If you're a baseball fan, do whatever you have to do to be in front of a television at 110 Central, MLB TV, whatever. Corbin Burns, Jacob deGrom. But the appetizer for that, and yes, I am a diehard Tigers fan and a homer. We're only 8 games under 500. We're actually the 5th best team in baseball since May the 1st. Casey Mize and Kyle Gibson is nothing to sneeze at. Those are 2 very, 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 very good pitchers. If you haven't seen Kyle Gibson, watch it now because he's going to be a Dodger or a Yankee or a Red Sox in about 3 weeks.
I was about to say, if you're pulling for a team that actually has a pulse and is going to make a big trade, Kyle Gibson, I would be absolutely shocked if they don't move him. Now, look, nothing's always assumed in Texas.
Right. Their asking price could be too high. Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before. Remember Mike Minor was pitching out of his mind and they didn't.
Yeah, and they didn't deal him. Yeah. And Gibson was a, an off the street buy before last season, right? Minnesota did not tender him a contract. They gave him like 2 years, $11 million. Team that takes him isn't going to have to pay a lot of money. He'd be, I'm surprised St. Louis hasn't been burning their phones up with all their pitching injuries and they're falling behind Milwaukee. So I don't know.
Yeah, my walk-off for the day is Sha'Carri Richardson. Bless your heart. I hate it for you. And I hate the fact that the politics get involved in why the hell they couldn't let this girl look. First of all, putting the drug test for marijuana isn't 1921. Okay. What the hell?
Not even 1981.
Right. Right. Exactly. Not even to 1990, 2001. Right. This should be gone. If it's legal to do it in the state that you're getting tested in, there's no reason why you should be getting tested for it. Right. If you're going to be that stringent, don't hold the Olympics trials in Oregon. Put it in some state that I don't even know where it's still illegal. Most states don't even hit you for consumption. They'll just go, whatever, dude, go just get back in the house, Right. And so I just hate it for her because for people that missed the story, she would have been eligible to come off suspension August 3rd. The relay is being held August 5th. They left her off the Olympic team. And this girl was favored to win a gold medal in both.
Literally the fastest woman on the planet. It's not even close. She blows people away.
And it ain't because she's smoking pot. No one got high and go, look how fast I can run.
That is not a thing. Look, I don't have anything to add that you haven't already said. The ISOC is second only to FIFA in how little I care about them and how dumb they are. So that's just whatever. You'll lose out on it. But everybody have a good day.
To the Olympics, but it is what it is. All right, brother. We'll see you on Saturday.
Yep. Take it easy, folks.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.